And God dang it.
3, 2, 1.
Yep, he went
Keep that in.
right
Keep that
as yep, he butt in, and we're gonna keep that as the introduction to Oblivion, episode 4. Welcome back, everybody. Continuing off of last week's episode, we are joined by Aura, B1, Jakk, Narsor, and Ophelia, and of course myself, Sigma, your kind and not so benevolent DM sometimes. As we last left off, you guys were kind of picking up the pieces of your completed mission at the compound in Jacksakal when you got a message from the rebel lookout that told you that a Imperial shuttle with the markings of a unit called Eclipse was heading your way. So here's what we're gonna do. You guys need to pack up the remaining shuttle and get out. What do you guys do in the? We'll say you guys have 10, 15 minutes to grab as much stuff as you can and then split. What are you guys going to grab? Where are you going to go to grab it? And what are you going to do?
Can Narsor look what's in the crates he's been using to murder people with?
Absolutely. You open up one of the crates and there are rations inside.
Narsor's gonna show it to the Lasat and go, food?
He's going to nod and say, yeah, lots of food. And he points back at the gaping hole and, no, eat, save. And he points at the hole, no. And he takes the lid and slams it back on the crate and says, no. Shuttle. Take shuttle.
What said? And he's gonna pick up 3 of them.
All right.
And then just run. He's gonna book it. He's gonna use that speed.
Because you took an injury at the end of the last episode, you cannot run.
No.
But you do move fast. Your large Herjlik stride.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it either.
Whale.
Large whale man stride gets you there fairly quickly, and we'll say that you're able to load on several boxes. The other team from the northeast side of the compound joins you guys, and the 2 rebel soldiers have information. So, bing, bing, there's 2 of your required assets. You guys wouldn't happen to want that 3rd asset, would you?
Oh, yes.
Narsor would like that 3rd asset.
Weapons. So remind me where Ophelia is right now.
You are all in the same place now. You are standing right about where you and Gelmore stood. Gelmore, by the way, is limping on his bad ankle from where Narsor crushed him with a box. But I'm not looking forward to telling him that. You're standing right about where you and Gelmore encountered the Stormtrooper and Shock Trooper back in at the end of episode 1, I suppose.
Okay. And remind me, are there any stormtrooper? There
are no more active Imperials in the compound.
No, not active. Down for the count, and their weapons are possibly strewn about.
Oh yeah, several. There are several.
All right, so Ophelia is gonna set to work, and as the soldier had told her, pull her own weight. So she's going to start collecting, and she is going to pick up the weapons, if there are even pieces of weapons, like ammo, cartridge, whatever. She's going to start stuffing it in the pockets of the uniform. So she's going to make haste with picking them up, carrying them, getting them to the ship, and then going to return for more.
The Lasat sets a crate down next to you as you start making a trip to the ship, and he says, save yourself some time. And he gestures to the crate and says, load them all in there and then tell the whaleman to move him into the ship. He looks over at the rebels and says, toss one of them the info. We're going in for the weapons supply. And
Question.
so, yes.
What happened to the stormtroopers that were on the shuttle that crashed? Are they dead?
If they weren't dead before from Narsor wailing on them, they sure are now. So,
We're already supposed to be dead.
Yep, hearts and
Not dead
minds,
yet. You will
everybody.
be
Okay.
soon.
Yep. All right. So, they hand the information disk to Jakk, and they follow the Lasat into the building. What do you guys do? I know Narsor, you are moving boxes of food and medical supplies. Ophelia, you are collecting blasters for Narsor to move. Jakk, B1, and Aura, what are you guys gonna do? Jakk, you are at full liberty to just like go set the info disk down in the ship and then go join them. You can go chill on the ship. What do you want to do?
Yeah, I'm gonna put the disc in the ship and then I'm gonna come back to help.
All right. You join them. B1, what are you gonna do?
I'm going to do the oops move, in which I stumble across something, however, not necessarily related to the immediate problems.
Huh. I forgot that move existed. Give me 2 seconds. Since you asked about the stormtroopers, I'm gonna say that you went back to the crashed shuttle to see if they were still alive. Is that fair to say? Like,
Sure.
okay, so you go back, and as you go back, you walk into that shuttle, and you find one of the stormtroopers that fell out of their hiding spot when the ship made its
Landing.
abrupt landing. Yes. And you find a security card on them, and you go back to the door and you test out the door to the base, and of course it works. It gets you in, and you find yourself in short order. You find yourself in the command room, and you're looking around, just kind of curious, and you start messing around with a console that looks extremely familiar to you. It actually looks like a refurbished console from an old separatist frigate, which may or may not have been familiar to you. We'll have to dig into that later. You start messing around with that console. You actually enter in some old access codes that you remember back from your days of being in the Separatist Alliance, and you gain access to the terminal. And on that terminal exclusively is inventory, or not inventory. Oddly enough, or fitting enough, I should say, it's outdated materials due for disposal. And you scroll down through that list of options and you see food that's gone bad, chemicals that need dumping, weapons that need refurbishing, and then on the last file on that list is outdated technology, outdated vehicles that need refurbishing. And you open that file and you see a list of like serial numbers. You see a list of serial numbers that belong to speeder bikes, ATSTs, land speeders, a bunch of Imperial stuff, and then you say for reconstruction and investigation as the prefix, or the order that lies next to the name of a craft that is definitely not Imperial made.
Do I recognize the name?
You just
How
cut
often
out.
do you talk to Jakk?
Jakk all the time. It's my buddy.
Roll plus sharp. Because I'll give you this information regardless of whether or not you succeed this roll. But
12.
in that case, you definitely remember Jakk saying the name of this ship. And he said this name, Jakk has mentioned the name of this ship so many times because this ship belongs to Jack's friend and longtime rival, Aura. It's the Raven.
The aura we know, like in our thing.
Oh.
Yes, hi, that's me.
Oh.
More to be investigated later. Anyways, that is you look into that, especially because you know that, oh my gosh, this is Aura's ship, and you look into it and you find the place at which apparently the wreckage of Aura's ship is being held for forensic reconstruction and analysis. And that is the information that you find that isn't necessarily connected to your direct problems right now, but will definitely be involved with things that you will need later
Okay.
down the line. And then lastly, Aura, what are you going to do?
I want to go back to the room where I found the guns, and I want to take a few. Can I do that?
Sure, you can go with Jakk the Lasat and the 2 rebel soldiers, and as you enter that room, you all duck back as another slug round comes through the door.
Oh my gosh.
The Lasat sighs and unhooks something from his belt. It is a cylindrical object. It's not a thermal detonator. You recognize it as a flashbang. He tosses, it explodes. The soldiers go in. There's a couple of laser shots. There's a crumpling sound, and then you all go in. You guys. Okay, so there's a lock on the door that is stopping you guys from accessing it, and the Quarren kneels down and begins messing with the lock, trying to see if he can hack the lock before time runs out, and time is running short. So what will you guys do, if anything, to help him get through the door?
Can we shift the lock?
Couldn't I just slice it with my lightsaber, or like
You
cut away
sure
in?
could. Go ahead and roll to kick some ass on the door.
Please roll. Nice. Oh, please roll.
Okay, I have no modifier to this, so if this fails,
I'm going to let you know that if you fail, you're going to slice the Quarren's arm off.
oh no.
You've already committed.
Please
Roll
don't
the
fail.
dice.
Let me
Roll
be
the
very
dice.
specific.
You have already
I'm-
committed.
I'm
Commit.
going to begin slicing far away from the Quarren and his limbs.
Commit. And you pass.
Oh.
Good job.
Oh,
You are
oh my
able
God.
to cut through the door, and without cutting anyone's limbs off, maybe you caught his finger. No, I'm kidding. You cut through the door, and the door opens, and you guys are able to extract enough weapons for it to count as a success. And you guys load up on the shuttle. Aura, you take the helm. As you move, though, I need you to take a point of passive harm as your slug shot wound starts to bleed out. So please mark 1 harm. And you and the human rebel both take positions in the pilot's seats, and you guys lift up and away and escape the compound. So congratulations, you all just succeeded your first mission. It only took you a few episodes, but you guys got there. You
But
did
we
it.
did it.
Hip hip hooray, you did it. Good job.
And question.
Answer.
Can Narsor on the ship back be like have cracked open one of the food crates and be munching on a ration?
Yes.
He hasn't eaten in a while.
One ration. Okay.
One ration.
I
He's
have
just
a
chilling there,
question.
eating food. You know, got to keep at that 400 pounds of whale.
So you guys, the human rebel takes control of the helm for a little while, and you guys all relax for a good hour or so as you guys fly at top speed away from the city and out into the mountains. You guys land in a secluded place, sheltered by the pines and mountains, and you guys unload the ship and take a short walk to a cave entrance. And I have posted the image in image references for the layout of the cave, which you hear the Lasat reference as Oblivion, or uh, sometimes he mentions it as the brink of oblivion, um, depending on the context, I suppose. But he gestures you guys in, and you guys follow the series of tunnels, and you drop most of the stuff off in the barracks, but you sort out some of the weapons to the armory. You guys have several rooms, all of which, again, have been labeled. And it looks like, just by the way that you guys are observing this base, that this used to be part of some form of old Jedi temple. And you know this because as soon as you've gone exploring a little bit, you find a perfectly octagonal room that slopes upward into this. It's not quite a dome. It's got so it's like the octagonal. The different sides slope upwards into almost like a tent type deal, but they slope upward, so it looks like that you guys are um, in the top of like a rocket ship or something. And it is very obvious with the pictures on the wall and the language inscribed on like a couple of the supporting columns that this was a meditating room that has been converted into a small library with what appear to be very, very old books. Um, you also find the scraps of what could be a detention block, a laboratory, an armory, a panic room, a security room, an intelligence room, and a workshop. But the rebels have been able to assemble a solid infirmary where they bandage you up, Aura, and they run a scan on you, Narsor, and they find that um, you actually dislocated a rib when you whale slammed onto the stormtrooper, and so they help you kind of pop that back into place rather painfully. Um, but you guys are all on the mend. If you have marked unstable, you can unmark that, and then everybody go ahead and mark yourselves as fully healed. You have full health now. But the infirmary and barracks are the only two rooms that they've really put together. Let's do kind of a jump cut, I suppose, to a scene where you are all standing around in the barracks. You have all been given bunks kind of spaced out around the room.
Gotta do that social distancing.
Not quite, but yes,
Did you put two bunks together for Narsor?
they did. They made special accommodations for you, buddy,
There's
and they
more. That's
put
more like 4 bunks.
well, they put two bunks together, and then there was one bunk. So they're all bunk beds, but they took the top bunks off of your bunk, and they're 3 stacks, so they had to find a way to take the middle 2, or not middle 2, take the middle bunk out of the 3 stack bunk beds, so that you could fit on the bottom bunk, because they all knew that if you got on the top bunk, that it just would not be a good time.
It would
So,
collapse.
so you have your special double bunk. I'm gonna imagine that Ophelia and Aura, you guys are kind of off on your own side, and then the rest of the guys are kind of off on their side. Gelmore, Dobrax, Narsor, and then B1. Do you have a bed, or do you just curl up and charge?
Curl up.
Just curl up and
100%
charge.
curl up.
Nice. Okay.
He just folds. He folds.
My brain went to poker. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fine. You guys are all chilling out there. You've kind of you're healing up. This is in the process of like recovering from the narrow escape, but successful escape. And you guys are all sitting around, and the Lasat enters, and he steps up and he introduces himself. He says, it's about time that introductions are in order. My name is Alphalis Sulmek. He introduces himself as that, and then he describes himself essentially as what the rebel militia leader is. So he is the militia leader. He is the one that leads a lot of the fire teams and stuff like that. He is in charge of like really leading the charge, I should say. And then in walks your recruiter, Joris Airfire, and he stands next to the Lasat and nods along as Alphelis speaks. He says, or not Joris, but Alphalis says, yeah, there are a couple of others that are kind of in charge of this whole show, but they're not here right now. They're elsewhere, though. I'm sure you'd be happy to talk to our we call him our people person, and he turns on a hologram and or a communicator, and it projects a hologram, and it is a helmeted head, and the helmet is actually of a clone trooper, a phase 1, like fin in the back and everything, clone trooper. And he says,
"What's up, my cool rebel friends?
What the hell?
My name's Tunes. I'm your HR representative, as it were. I bring the human resources to your department, if you know what I mean."
and this entire time Joris is just holding his face in his hands like, I can't believe I work with this idiot. And
Oh my god.
Alphalis
You
is
just have a
like,
DJ.
he's loving every minute of it, which is funny because like the Lasat generally doesn't look very nice or amused ever, but when he hears this guy, who introduces himself as Tunes, like that's his handle. He whenever Tunes gets on the radio, he always has a smile on his face.
You know, I'm also a really cool DJ, and I deliver those sick rebel beats to whoever will listen.
He puts on some music, and the music starts to like kind of play on a couple of speakers that are around the room, and Alphalis turns off the communicator and puts it away and says, yeah, we're kind of a small operation right now, but we hope that you guys can help fix that. And with this new shipment of supplies, I'm sure that things will get a little bit easier from now on, or at least that's the hope. Let's dive into a couple of individual scenes, and we find B1. B1, are you here?
Yeah.
Okay. We find B1, Jakk, and Aura kind of standing around talking. B1, have you told Aura and Jakk that you found the Raven?
No, it would just come up randomly. Oh yeah, I found the Raven.
It would just come up randomly, or it would not?
Like just if there was just like an awkward silence where no one was talking. B1 would just bring it up randomly.
Okay. So you say, "Oh yeah, I found the Raven." And let's role play from there. So, Aura, let's get some dialogue, guys. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I found the Raven.
What? Where? When?
At the base. And I'm gonna... So, the location that I got, where does that say exactly? Like, it has the crash site details as well as where it is now?
Yes.
Where is it now?
Right now it is in a compound in the northwestern region of Janundal. The compound designation is compound honor. That's
It's in
HO.
Compound Honor on
Yeah.
Janundal. They found it crashed.
They found it crashed. Who crashed my ship?
I don't suppose you need to be the one asking that. It is your ship.
Oh, right. I must have hit my head.
Forgets her own backstory, then blames it on character hitting head.
Well, we're gonna have to get that. We're gonna have to get my ship at some point.
Alright.
I am help.
Yeah, you're gonna
Jakk,
need to.
you say, Shorty, what do you say? Are you up for another adventure?
I'm just gonna nod because you won't understand a single thing I say.
Okay.
He says yes.
Yeah,
All
thank
right.
you. I can.
All right. Narsor and Ophelia, you guys are kind of off to the side. Narsor is enjoying a snack. Narsor, did you feel the urge to share with Ophelia or no?
To share my food,
Yes.
you're he presented a singular piece of
A
small,
single corn chip.
more or less.
Single
He
corn
was
chip.
like in his large hands, just holding this tiny piece of food, like.
Ophelia kind of looks him up and down, and
You can see his stupidity.
he feels the
B1,
lack
that
of
is
intelligence
amazing.
radiating off of him, and she just kind of stares up at him with her bright blue eyes and just shakes her head and says, "You have it."
And
She knows
once
that's
with motion, it is in his mouth.
she
Like,
knows that that's gonna put her on his good side, so she's willing to starve another few minutes or days. It's fine.
oh. Narsor will continue enjoying his little snack.
Okay.
Gotta keep on those 400 pounds of whale somehow.
So you guys continue talking, and eventually, and this is, I guess, we'll kind of come to a wrap here. Eventually, you guys, Black, yes, you can. And I can't remember, did I? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. I think
Like
I know
that.
where we can answer. Okay. All right. So Alphalis calls you guys to calls you around a projector in the middle of the barracks, and he uh, begins to speak to you all, as well as the the, we'll say, handful of other rebels that are in the base. And Joris is there as well, and he says, I've got some good news and I've got some bad news. We'll go bad news first. The bad news is that there is a very large chance that the Imperials have a bead on Joris. He's going to need to lay low for a little bit, but I have no doubt that he'll be just fine. We're good at hiding. We've been hiding for this long. I don't see why it should get any harder now. More bad news. Eclipse is the name of a team that was brought here to Janundal to hunt rebels. This does not inspire confidence in me, but it definitely doesn't inspire fear. What it does inspire is the knowledge that we are getting through. We are reaching people. We're reaching the ears of Imperials who hate our voice. And we are making enough noise to the point where they decided that they needed to send a special team to deal with us. And in my book, that's a win. And a couple of rebels give a light applause, but most of them are very nervous. I was able, with the help of the other SEAL team members, to decode the files that Miss Ophelia so kindly pointed out to them when they were in the compound back in Jacksakal. And he taps the projector, and the image of a Duros appears on the hologram. And if you don't know what a Duros is, it is the blue-skinned alien with the big red eyes. The one of the more common Duros that is known to people is Cad Bane. It was anyways, but you see this Duros dressed in a lab coat, a scientist, and he says, we've gotten intel that this is Ban Kado. He is a scientist with the Empire that has recently transferred to Janundal for whatever reason. I believe we need to find out, and it will lead us to why people are being taken from their homes in the middle of the night and never being heard from again. And then he taps the projector again, and the image of a slender blonde woman appears on the hologram, and he says, "This is Imperial Governess Elise Van Trevor. She has been recently promoted to governess of the planet of Janundal, and she has made living more and more difficult day by day. She's going to need to be removed if we are to succeed in our mission to move forward." and he taps the holocron, or not holocron, the hologram once more, and the image shuts off. The radio comes on again, and you guys hear the voice of Tunes.
Oh, hell yeah.
Hey guys, hope you guys have been cool today. Listen, I got eyes, eagle eyes, spying on that compound that y'all just flew the coop on. See what I did there? He says that there's a team there right now. And he says they're quite, there's a couple of interesting cats there.
And Tunes goes on to relay the message given from Eagle Eye, who was the spotter from earlier, and he is able to relay information about. I'll tell you what. You guys actually get like skin deep descriptions of these characters. First, first is described a tall, kind of lean figure wearing a rather grand hat. He's wearing leather that looks a little padded and armored. Looks like he's a hired hunter. Then there's there's a stormtrooper captain leading a couple of stormtroopers around. There is a shock trooper with a particularly unique paint pattern. There is a giant man that appears to be some sort of mutant because he has two horns coming out of on either side of his jaw and a horn coming out of his forehead, and he looks like the monster from the Geonosian arena, but that can't be right. And then lastly, stepping out of the shuttle last is something that you've only heard rumor about, and that is an Imperial commando. And there's not much more description beyond that, but that is a skin deep description of the other team. And Aura, I don't know if you're still here or not, but you can at least hear about this in the. So you're still here. Yep. Okay. So you get a call because Joris overheard you, B1, and Jakk talking about your down ship, and he comes to you and he says, I may have someone that can get you into that compound. Her name, you'll have to seek her out, but her name is Laswell. Seek her out, he says. He tells you to seek her out in the streets of Falcon, the capital city of Janundal, and you do. We'll mess with that in a little bit, but we see the scene fade to black and then come back in. It's dark. The room is dimly lit, and we'll say that actually, no. Did you take B1 and Jakk with you? Did you take B1, Jakk, and Ophelia? Did you take all of them? Like, did you bring everybody with you? Yes or no? Because this is important.
Can I interject and
Whoever-
ask a question?
You need to make it really quick because she's got to go.
Okay.
Fine.
I was
Second.
gonna say, okay. Sorry. Is our mission also like right now to get a view on tall, slender woman? Empress?
It's pretty much what I mean, yes, but also whatever else. So
Okay, so
so
Ophelia's
this
gonna
is
stay back because that is her specialty, is being able to spy on others and espionage. So she's
okay.
gonna stay
Then I
back.
tell you what. We'll meet in the middle. So you're watching through. Oh, there goes Spa. You're watching through. You're watching through your force of vision. You're watching Aura, B1, and Jakk approach this building, and they enter. The room is dim and dark. It's kind of filled with smoke, but there is one person in this room, and this person is a short, blonde woman that has an air about her that you know, Ophelia. You would know this one anywhere. But she turns to you, Aura, when you enter and she says, I hear you're looking for me. The name's Laswell Falkrow, and I, for a price, am going to help you get back your ship. Narsor, you're sitting in the barracks,
Wait, oh
and
shit.
you're sitting on your bunk, and you get a call on your communicator, and it is Davik. And for those of you listening at home, this is not Knights of the Old Republic Davik. This is a different Davik.
It's Skavik in the Old Republic. Or is it
Yeah.
There's a
No,
Davik in
I'm
the
pretty
Old
sure it was.
Republic?
I'm pretty sure it was Davik.
Oh, Jesus, I played the game like a little bit ago.
Yeah. So
oh yeah, him, Crime
it was like,
Lord. Yeah, I want to punch his face
yeah.
in as well.
So this is a different one. Not the same.
Completely different person. I forgot that was an actual Star Wars name.
Yeah, he is a I forget what race he is, but
Zeltron.
he's a Zeltron. Okay. You hear his voice, and now we're recording this shortly after finishing the recording for episode 4 of Oblivion. So we're gonna say it takes place right about then.
When
You get a
everyone's off doing hijinks.
hijinks stuff. Yeah, Ophelia is still at the compound with you, and you're still there, but Aura, Jakk, and B1 all took off. You get a call, and Davik sounds very upset, like more upset than you've ever heard him, and genuinely upset. And he
Narsor has the comm to his like ear hole. What do Hergulix have? Whatever. His equivalent of an ear.
yeah,
And he's like, Davik.
and you hear over the line, he says, "Yeah, buddy, it's me. It's Davik. Listen, Narsor, there are some people uh, on Janundal that are they're gonna set you up with they're gonna set you up. They're gonna make sure that you get the help you need in order to keep going." And he takes a shaky breath and says, "I don't know how long ago it was. Everything's kind of blended together, but uh, I only got back. I got back to the hideout, and I've been trying to contact you ever since because I haven't been able to get a hold of you." And Narsor, they took everybody. The Imperials came in the night, and it was a couple squads of purge troopers came, and they cleaned the place out. They're all gone.
Is Bucket Head Her family?
Yeah, Narsor, yeah.
All
But I
Davik hears is a loud whack as Narsor slams a fist into the wall behind him, probably putting a crack into it.
yeah, no, there's a there's like a hallway on the other side of that wall, and it cracks, and the two rebels standing in there working on like the wires running in the floor notice like a crack form, and they look at each other and they're like, oh shit. Um, and Davik is trying to calm you down over the comm, and he's like, no, buddy, don't worry about it. I got it. I know it upsets you. It upsets me too, but I need you to focus. You need to that they're gonna come for you now. They are the people who came for your family. They're coming for you now, and you gotta be ready. So there are some people on Janundal that I have reached out to, and they're gonna help you. They'll be in touch with you shortly, but you gotta keep moving on. You gotta keep going for them. I'm not telling you to leave me behind. I'm not leaving you behind. You just gotta keep moving forward. It's for your own good, and it's for the galaxy's own good. Can you keep going, buddy?
Narsor, crush bucket heads.
That's what I like to hear. Keep going, buddy. Don't stop. The communicator clicks off, and you are left there, sitting in silence as it begins to rain.